The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now, you're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average, and auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
The Real Pod is brought to you by our good friends at Nando's. They've got restaurants across Aotearoa, and if you order through the Nando's app, you can collect Perry Perks points to redeem for delicious rewards. Hit nandos.co.nz to learn more and start earning.
There's a what?
What?
Are you leaving a gap for a
song?
I thought you wanted me to fill it with nonsense.
We'll get there.
My bad.
I'm alternating 3 liquids right now. I don't know what I'm
rank
doing.
them.
Red Bull number 1, green tea number 2, water 3.
Poor old water.
Well, so it's in this big heavy bottle. I've got to open
Yeah, it's
it.
probably the wrong temp as well.
You got your tea
Inside
bag.
your
This is
body,
room, this
liquid
is fridge,
temp.
this is hot. So this is actually a science
Wow. This is a 5th form science project right there.
Exciting for your guts.
Kia ora, it's whānau. Welcome along to The Real Pod.
ASMR.
We're trying things a little differently this week. No, we're not.
Yeah,
Just
a
jokes.
little bit. Have you done something with your hair? It looks
I did.
lovely.
You look like you're going to the Oscars today.
Yeah.
Thank you. I am work from home and I had a little more time to do my hair this morning. So that's what I did.
Looks very glamorous.
Thank you for noticing.
Very Married at First Sight.
Thank you.
Yes, it does. It looks like we're at the dinner party.
Speaking of which, actually, first of all, let's get the furniture out of the way. Okay, let's move the furniture. This is your Real Life in New Zealand podcast. It's your sort of light-hearted side of Real Life in New Zealand. Let's not talk about the big O, okay? And
Actually, are you talking about Olsen Filipina?
no.
I think he died last
did
week.
die.
It's really sad.
Oh,
It's a rugby league legend.
that's
R.I.P.
a sad way to start the podcast.
I know.
Oh, thoughts to his friends and whānau. Back to our silly pod. My name's Jane Yee, joined by Duncan Grieve and Alex Casey. See I here on the tools. And we are coming to you from the New Look spin-off.
What?
Well, you know, we did our refresh, our site refresh in November, and now we are screaming that from the billboard sides.
So public.
We don't want to be a dirty little secret anymore.
We are very public eggs.
Yeah,
if you will.
That's right. It's great. It's quite crazy. It feels like a moment to be doing like a brand campaign, like a proper with billboards and posters, like a proper grown up organisation, but hopefully not too much so that we look indistinguishable from them. The thing I want to make clear is that no member funds were harmed in the making of this campaign, and almost all of it, like 93% of it, was involves contra with our mates in the media. So it's loud, but it's not costly for us, and we're just trying to get some more people into the whole enterprise and ultimately into the corner and into politicorns.
And horny corners.
Horny corners.
Horny Cornies is in need. I actually have to apologise. I think it was last week I said there were 3 members. There are actually 4. So
That's good. That's even numbers.
it's even numbers. I mean, go for it, I say.
That's 2 weddings. You know?
But there's more options than you get at Married at First Sight. Okay.
True.
So you're actually very lucky. Consider yourself lucky. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/Real Pod Corner. Also,
/horny corny?
I'm not sure of the specific URL for Horny Cornies. I haven't dipped my toe in there yet. And you can also find us on Instagram at the Spinoff Podcast Network. Right.
Hey, what did everyone have for their Valentine's dinners?
I had mince and a baguette. What'd you have, Alex?
I had a piping hot bag of Nando's.
Oh, lucky.
Delicious.
Nothing says I love you like a bag of Nandy.
Like a cheesy bread, 1 pp. I'm not halving it
No.
with my beloved.
No.
It's Valentine's Day, it's 1 pp.
Yeah.
What do you mean 1 pp?
One per person.
Person.
Like-
one whole.
so
One whole cheesy per person.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And look, if you
You're
don't.
not doing 1 pp?
No.
What?
I do like a regular between 2.
No.
Otherwise, straight to sleep.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's part
but
of it.
the alternative though is like, if you feel like eating it all, you eat it all. You just throw everything into the ring. Is that a saying? If you're full, pop some in the fridge. It is delicious next day cold. It is
Cold?
delicious. It is delicious heated in the micro. It's great. Just let it come to room temperature, if you will. Any way you want to have it, you can have it, but you should have it on a whole one.
That's a great advertisement for Nando's.
Speaking of maths, as we mentioned, we do have a maths pop-out podcast. It's called The Real Recap. We are recapping Married at First Sight Australia in all its glory. That will be dropping, to carry the two, Wednesday.
Pop out.
Will it?
Pop up. Did I say pop out?
No,
It does
Pop out
say
pod.
pop out. Sounds like a
It is
wardrobe
pop out.
malfunction.
Janet Jackson. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I tell you what, that's an example of an Eggcorn. I found out what an Eggcorn was this week. Do you know about Eggcorns?
Yeah.
I found out about them from
okay.
Duncan because I
That's
used
right.
to write them all the time.
Why have we not brought up this word on the podcast before?
It's a failure on my part.
Yep.
And I'm sorry.
And Alex's,
if-
really.
And mine.
Well, yeah, but to a lesser extent.
And probably mine for
I need
just
to own
being
it.
a dummy and not knowing about
Didn't
it.
want to say it, but
So someone posted about this in the corner because, of course, it's a happy marriage between, we need to give some context. Alex Casey, not a fan of a public egg, which is something
No.
we've discussed a number of times on the podcast.
just as an aside, how many private eggs do you do?
like a few. But I will say, Joe made an egg. This is a separate podcast. But Joe made an egg salad sandwich, and I made him eat it facing the wall. Like at the end of the Blue Witch Project, when they can't turn around because the witch will kill them. Just the other day.
Wow.
Egg salad is the top of my nightmare.
Really? Because I think that's
That
a
is my
lovely
nightmare.
one.
You must have hated maths this week, but that
Well,
actually
yes.
is another podcast. So an eggcorn is a word or phrase that results from mishearing or misinterpretation of another. So when I said pop out, there's an eggcorn. Tell you what else is an eggcorn, our unofficial slogan. Today's news is tomorrow's newspaper.
Oh, so it's just saying something a bit wrong.
No, I think that's
It's getting a saying wrong.
But no, but I think it's more than that. It's like where you get the saying wrong, but it still
makes
works.
sense, yeah.
And or sometimes it can even be an improvement on the original or like a modernising of it.
Well, that's is it today? No, it's yesterday's news, isn't it? Yesterday's news is tomorrow's newspaper. I think is a fantastic improvement on what I can't even remember what the original is anymore.
Today's news is tomorrow's fish and chip
Fish and chip paper.
yeah, that's true. It is good. Today's news is tomorrow's newspaper. It's better, not yesterday's news, because the newspaper
but-
does come out every day.
Yeah,
I
but
don't want to fact check you on how newspapers.
I'm just talking about what was said. Anyway, let's move on. There's bound to be more eggcorns throughout life.
Rain is the one that I always get wrong. Like Rain It In and Reign of Terror. To me, the same rain, but
Right.
they're not. And I only knew that. That was when I found out that I had been using. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that
Is
was
that
right.
wrong? Am I-
Reign of Terror has a G in it,
Yes.
and Reign It
Yeah.
In is more like a reindeer.
We'll take the rains, and I think I used rain as Reign of Terror, and it kind of worked.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Another little
Literature pod.
Another little nice. Oh, we should do the real news thing first. All right, carry on. This little lovely little nugget of news would have been what happened at the end of the 6 o'clock news in the old days when they always used to have a nice fuzzy. Do they still do that?
No, I think they just do that handover to the
right.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
shows, try and stop you tuning out.
Back 4 score and 10 ago, they used to do like a little nice fluffy story at the end of the news. And here's a good news story straight from the corner. So we have a Crafty Corns as one of our many subgroups, and in there is one corny who is just prolific at producing the nicest. Like she just makes bloomers and dresses and pajamas. Yes, bloomers. They are delightful. Okay. Delightful. Anyway, that's Kelsey. She is sewing up a storm. Another corny, Brenda. Brenda had an old banana called. No, she doesn't have a name. Kelsey's got an old banana.
Banana's a
Beryl,
good enough name.
on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Beryl's pretty good too. And Brenda happened to have an old banana case in Great Nick. So she boxed it up and sent it to Kelsey, no Oamaru, so that she could have a lovely case for Beryl the banana.
Wow.
How nice is that?
That's beautiful.
It's really beautiful.
Also, if we don't have real pod bloomers by the end of this year, heads will roll.
Oh, this is
What are
Kelsey.
bloomers?
We will have them by the end of this week. She
Big
is
old
honestly.
pants, right?
But underwear for where you want to be where you're super modest.
No, it's
And you want a lot of room just in case.
No, but I mean the modern version is like underwear on the outside.
Huh?
oh.
Oh no, that sounds wrong. It's not like superhero underwear. Let me show you a photo.
I'm imagining
Is this-
pantaloons.
Bloomers,
Oh.
like little
But
shorts.
those are underwear.
I don't know.
In the old money.
Kelsey, are you wearing them as underwear or outerwear? I feel like they're outerwear.
They look great.
They're
I
like
don't know if
shorts
they're
with a
for
little
me.
frill on them. They're cute. I think Duncan needs a pair of these bloomers. Just saying, Kelsey. Okay. Back to the rest of the real news. Okay, a Russian man has given the power of sight to an expensive painting and people are fuming. This was a beautiful story.
Love it.
And I hate the sort of criminal element of it because I just feel like this guy's a hero.
It should be worth 10 times as much now with the eyes.
Yeah, because now it's famous. Like, no one heard of this stupid painting before now.
Okay, a Russian security guard was arrested after he got bored on his first day at work and decided to draw eyes on a painting of 3 blank faces worth $1.5 million. The guard was 60 years old, which is definitely old enough to know better. He faces 3 months in googly-eye jail if found guilty. The security guard drew the eyes with a Yeltsin Centre branded pen. His motives are still unknown, but the administration believes it was some kind of lapse in sanity.
Lapse in sanity was a great phrase.
I think they're spending like £20,000 or euro or something to get it restored, and it will
Wipe
be
it off.
fine and won't affect the integrity of the artwork, apparently. But
Is this not exactly what happens in Mr. Bean, the Ultimate Disaster movie?
was the security guard actually Ron Atkinson?
Such good knowledge of Mr. Bean, the Ultimate Disaster movie as well.
It's a hell of a film.
It is a really ballsy thing to do on your first day in
Yeah,
the
it's
job.
a really more of a sort of 3 months in once you sort of know the vibe.
It's also the exact opposite of your job description, like protect the artwork. And the fact he did it with pen, again, very, very ballsy. And also when you think about it, he got bored on his first day, drew the eyes on. So there were 3 figures and then he's just drawn, they're just like they're quite subtle. In fact, if you didn't know they weren't part of the original artwork,
You might.
just think, great, beautiful art.
Great, beautiful art.
And he chose just...
Jane of the Art Gallery. Great.
It is so accurate.
Beautiful art.
Also me at Aunt Matilda's house.
True.
Okay, so he drew eyes on the outer 2 figures. And as I say, I think it looks perfect, chef's kiss, honestly. But it couldn't have taken him long to do, the maximum of 20 seconds. So was that alleviated his boredom for the rest of the day? Probably not.
Well, no, but now he
Probably
looks at
quite
it and
exciting
goes,
to go to jail, ultimately. I think an
Russian
underrated
jail, I
part.
don't know.
Underrated part as well, little tiny mouths.
Oh, did he do mouths as well?
I believe he's done tiny, very faint.
Yeah, see, so subtle. I think the man understands art. That's my conclusion, and he should be given 3 months paid leave, not jail time.
I'm wondering, I don't know if his identity's been released. Like, could this be Banksy?
Oh,
Could this be Banksy?
Yeah.
You've
But
got to
that's
ask
true
yourself that
of most
all of the
things,
time.
You know?
Could this be
Flappy
Banksy?
shoe.
Could that be?
Oh, no, we know. I know how. Oh, yeah. Anyway, again, that's another podcast. Listening to Married at First Sight. We do a lot of teasers for the Married at First Sight podcast.
It's a good podcast.
It is. It's a great podcast, and you should tell everyone you know watching it. It's. I would say the best podcast that recaps Married at First Sight in
The inner west of Auckland.
Yes, exactly right. Okay. A UK zoo hired Marvin Gaye impersonator to serenade the monkeys so they'll get it on. A West Midlands zoo used Marvin Gaye impersonator to sing in the monkey enclosure as a wacky way of encouraging its endangered monkeys to get it on in the mating season.
Is it okay if I don't like this?
Yeah.
Why don't you like it?
Because I'm just kind of like, it feels like people are just sort of sitting around going, oh, what will get me some internet coverage? Like Trevor Mallard, when he's like going on Twitter to get suggestions about how to annoy the protesters. I'm just like, just I'm just a bit bored of stuff that feels like it's transparently get our institution on the map. It's like,
wow, yeah, Duncan, bloody zoos trying to get publicity.
get people to go and look at the animals, try to save the animals. But I mean, they're not really trying to. Oh, sorry, I'm being.
I just think it's a great PR stunt. IMO.
Yeah,
Have you seen the photo of the Marvin Gaye impersonator crooning away and all the monkeys
Is it Gary Brown?
furious sitting around like real pissed off? I do think there is room for a Gary Brown situation at Auckland Zoo. You know? Gary Brown singing... What did he sing at our Christmas party? A lot of different songs. This is the Auckland's premier Austin Powers impersonator.
Yeah, I think also only.
Who Duncan hired as a surprise act for our Christmas party in 2016. He could sing to the Galapagos turtle, perhaps.
Sorry, I got distracted by some of the clickbait at the bottom of the Daily Mail story.
It's a hell of a story.
It's just an amazing website, the Daily Mail. The volume of material.
It's quite something. Anyway, don't go there. Listen to this podcast instead because it's sourced all from there. Imagine if that worked, the Marvin Gaye impersonator managed to get some monkeys to get it on. Imagine if Barry Manilow had that effect on people.
And the protesters were just swelling in
Getting
number.
it on, getting like rabbits. Just making statements. Okay. Maybe those hornbag monkeys need to go on these new dating reality shows. Heartbreak Island filming is underway with an international cast. What does that mean?
That's interesting, isn't it? Does that mean like one Australian?
Yeah, that's my fear.
Yeah. Harry Jowsey back again.
Oh, gosh. Well, he's a big
I
star
think
now.
he's too famous for it.
Yeah.
While TVNZ's new show, The Ex Best Thing, great name, is currently filming in Queenstown and follows ex-couples as they try and find each other a new partner. I came up with this as a podcast idea, by the way, and somehow it got to the television people.
Did you
Did you
accidentally
talk
say it
about
out loud?
on the...
And you forgot to say copyright the spin-off?
Yeah, I might have done that.
Jay?
Oh, sorry. I know. I'm new here.
Hey, is this the one that Siobhan Ruakiri is?
No.
Okay,
That's,
so it's a whole
that's some
different
sort of
one.
island one.
So there's 2 TVNZ reality shows this year.
Dating shows, you mean?
Dating shows.
Dating shows.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I thought the Ex Best Thing was that one.
No, because it's on no, because they advertise them completely separately. The Ex Best Thing was advertised.
Wow.
They did their casting quite a while ago, and then the Siobhan Ruakiri one is an island dating show.
That seems like a sort of let's get 80% of Love Island type situation.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about. The Ex Best Thing as a concept sounds bad. I mean, I'm excited.
No, I don't reckon. I think it sounds great. I think as long as it's both parties are completely chill and happy and best mates. It's just like, like you help your screening, and you could go in and be like, hey, just warning you, very, very bad at hanging towels up. You can. How are you with hanging towels up? Does it bother you if someone leaves the towel on the floor all the time? Because
So just
Straight away.
go through and really like the most kind of mundane but infuriating elements. They'll never get together with anyone. Your ex will reveal all of your bad stuff.
And see, now does it sound like a good show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Spy has reported details of some of TVNZ's new reality shows aside from those. There's Snacking Masters, which is a cooking challenge show hosted by Tom Sainsbury and Kim Crossman.
And Starlet. Kim Crossman.
Starlet.
Starlet.
Kim
I don't
Crossman.
often see that anymore.
What about Pocket
Like
Rocket?
songstress.
Pocket Rocket's a good one. And 60 Seconds, a talent show where contestants have 1 minute to impress 3 talent scouts who are Clint Roberts, Pax Asadi, Laura Daniels, and Tegan Ulworth. That's 4.
That's 4, isn't
It's
it?
definitely 4. Sorry. Clint is the host. Pax, Laura, and Tegan are the judges.
When is a host not Clint of any kind? That's my question. Roberts,
Randall. Clint R. even.
and more.
There's Clint Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Remember him?
Yep. Did he do the sports?
Sports on 3.
Okay, also TVNZ are taking applications for the Doghouse, New Zealand
sign me
version of the of TV's most heartwarming show. You know about the Doghouse?
No, I read the materials, but
Matching dogs with humans. It's lovely.
so it's like Married at First Dog site.
Yeah, but they get to say no. They
Dog-
get to look at the
dog
dog
at
and go,
first
ugh, too many tattoos. No thanks. You know?
What are your aspirations?
Okay, 2 Auckland bakers. Sorry, more egg news, Alex.
What?
Block your ears.
Well, hold on. I have one more thing to say about 60 seconds. What
Sorry.
would you do if you were invited on stage? You had 60 seconds to impress a stunning lineup of 3
Yeah.
or 4 judges.
What would I do? I'll tell you what I wouldn't do, and this is a real deep cut. I wouldn't juggle because I never learnt how.
Yeah.
But I would. The only thing that I feel like I can do that is remotely impressive, and it takes maybe 5 or 10 seconds, is turn my eyelids inside out.
Oh,
I love that. Can you do it right now?
Yeah? Oh, I've got mascara on, but I'll do it anyway.
Mascara.
God, I haven't done it for a long time.
Oh my God!
That's what I'm saying. Why did you want that?
You're going through to the next round.
See you in Hollywood.
Wow. Does it not hurt?
No.
Can I take a photo of it?
Oh my God, no, not right now.
That's shocking. I can't do anything like that. Oh, wait, hold on. 3, 2, 1.
Wavy tongue. Wavy tongue.
Clover tongue.
Amazing. What about you, Doug? What have you got?
No, none of that.
Nothing?
No.
Can you do tall tongue, whale tongue? I feel like I learned that
no.
from Luke Turville.
Ugh.
Whale tongue.
This is such good podcast content.
I was going to say,
Tongue stuff.
Well, that's a new series. Copyright the spin-off 2021. 2022.
Yeah, you got to get the date right, otherwise it doesn't hold up in court, Jane.
oh no.
Oh, man. Okay, so what would you do, Alex?
Well, that.
Okay.
Clover tongue.
What about you, Duncan? Nothing at all?
Well, I'll just do some podcasting. I don't think I'd make it through.
Monopod. Okay. You and that'd be a choice between you and Bernard. Duncan Grieve and Bernard
Bernard's so good. He's so
going head to head.
authoritative.
Yeah, you're fucked, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, back to the eggs. 2 Auckland bakers have cracked an egg with not 1, not 2, but 3 yolks. I lost my voice. I was so excited.
Wow.
Triple yoker.
Yeah, I had 2 double yolkers in a row recently, and I thought that was pretty cool. But this just blows me away.
Mina Park and her mother Janet were making Korean fritters for a memorial ceremony when they cracked an egg. Not 1, not 2, but 3 yolks plopped out of the single egg. They did some egg-vestigate. That's not easy to say. Egg-vestigation.
I don't think that works.
Well, you need to talk to Tara about that. She wrote it. So.
Okay, I take that back.
And discovered the odds of finding a triple yoker is 1 in 25 million. It sounds like a lot, but due to the number of eggs in New Zealand, apparently 40 of us will find a triple yoker this year.
So that almost seems like it should be not a news story, because that's
So it's
basically
like-
1 every 10 days.
Yeah, that's like
Does that mean that if that egg was fertilised, it would have 3
identical
identical chicks?
chicklets.
What is an egg?
I don't think we should find out what an egg is.
No.
I don't want to know.
For those of us who enjoy a public or private egg, it's best not to ask
You
questions.
can't have 3 chicks inside one of those.
I reckon you can. I mean, they have
come
like
out very small, wouldn't they?
9 chicks
Do more
inside
than-
like a lady.
Does an
once.
egg grow? Does an eggshell grow? It doesn't with the size of the. It's like it's.
Well, but there are different size eggs.
yeah.
Again,
They can.
Science corner.
2 chicks can hatch from the same egg.
Wow.
If the egg has 2 yolks.
I think 3, they'd be really pushing for space. I think you'd come out with 3 little runts that
Yeah, you'd be
might-
fed up.
Well, they got fed up with the triple yolk egg for their lovely fritters, didn't they? For a memorial ceremony, I feel like that's a sign, right?
Yeah.
That's some sort of sign from beyond. Okay. The Neighbours theme tune has hit number 1 in the UK after the announcement the long-running soap may be cancelled. Absolute banger of a tune. Are you sort of Home and Away or Neighbours peeps?
Home and Away, but growing up in the United Kingdom, as I did, Neighbours was... I was shocked when I saw that story because it was always sort of like knowing that Neighbours was like one of the most popular shows over there. And like, so I was like, how can it... If Shaun Street can survive in New Zealand with basically just our home market sustaining it, how can the combined populations of the UK and Australia not make that happen? I personally think, as good as the Neighbours theme is, the Home and Away theme is better. My favourite fact about Neighbours is that during the peak of the Neighbours Home and Away sort of ascension in the UK popular imagination, because basically you're watching a show where it's always sunny and lovely and everyone's tan and attractive and you're just living in some grey town, it's always raining and dark. And so it was obvious like why they were so excited about it. But this town where all my cousins lived, Milton Keynes, was like a new town built in the aftermath of World War II. So it kind of didn't have a kind of cultural centre of its own. Apparently there were like generations of kids grew up with Australian accents because they just watched heaps of Australian soaps. Loved it.
That was the fold with a little bit of a history podcast thrown in, which is quite nice.
Yeah,
That's
sorry
my
about
story.
Yeah, if it's
Copyright. There.
2022, make sure you get the date right.
2022, get the spin-off.
Okay, I mean, I think the Neighbours song is great. It kind of plods along. It's very Australian.
What is it?
Neighbours.
Everybody.
Oh, yeah. Home and Away shirts on there, right?
Yeah, but I like
So emotional.
I like the simplicity of the Neighbours theme tune. I watched Neighbours as a young thing, and I crossed over to Home and Away. I think there was a transition period of like trying to double up on both of them, and it got too hard. And so I
Home and Away was like hot for a minute.
Yeah,
there, when Rick was on it.
Yeah, oh yeah. But the thing I love most about Neighbours, 2 things. One, Mrs. Mangle, what a great name. Just a great name. And she absolutely looked like a Mrs. Mangle. Whatever you're imagining in your head is exactly what she looked like. And also there was Plain Jane. Do you remember Plain Jane got a glow up? There was Plain Jane who got a makeover and became less Plain Jane and just gave hope to all Janes the world over. So that's a personal thing for me.
Hey, that's a bit of a monopod from you, Jane.
Thank you.
What's your one, Alex?
I've got nothing. I don't really care for either. I'm just Googling the cantankerous Mrs. Mangle. That's what it says on her Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I mean, that is very much her vibe.
Was she like the Alf of Neighbours?
I think even less likeable, though.
Oh, Alf is fucking likeable.
No, but I mean in terms of like, yeah, exactly. He's likeable. She really wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Mangle by name and by nature, etc.
We're going to have a break. When we return, we will tell you what's been going on in our week as if you might be interested.
This is Petra Schromarama speaking. How may I help?
The Spin-Off presents Takeout Kids, a local documentary series that goes behind the counter to meet 4 young people growing up in their parents' restaurants and takeaway shops. Get a glimpse into the everyday lives of our takeout kids. Watch the full series today at thespinoff.co.nz/videos.
I am a chef, you know. Not like you, the only one.
Hi, I'm Brian Crump, host of Sci-Fi Sci-Fact, a new RNZ podcast in which we take some of science fiction's strangest ideas and explore if they could really happen. With the help of scientists from New Zealand's McDiarmid Institute, we'll look at all your favourite science fiction characters, from Wolverine to Rumpelstiltskin, Doctor Who to Luke Skywalker. You can find Sci-Fi Sci-Fact on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, basically anywhere you get your podcasts from.
Okay, Duncan, what's been going on?
Okay, this is real embarrassing. So, at my gym, there's this. I do like classes, right? And there's this Irish lady, Jo, who I like love, and is just huge energy, huge vibe. I think she's like an ultra runner. She's just like awesome.
Don't tell me she listens to the podcast.
No. But there are a couple of people who've crept up to me saying, "Oh, I'm a corny," which is buzzy as hell.
Jeez.
But so Joe's got this really strong Irish accent, and I talk to her like multiple times a week, have done for probably a couple of years now, and I just realised like last week that I reply to her in an Irish accent.
We need to hear it. Hi, Duncan. How's your day going?
Well, she's like, hello, Duncan. And I'll be like, hello, Joe.
No!
Do you say
As a joke? No.
No, I don't know how it started, but it just had literally become so, because I love an Irish accent, like I'm only human, and I'm Irish on both sides if you head back a couple of generations. But I don't know how it started, and she's never said anything. But I've definitely been doing it.
Okay.
And
so
I
now
have to,
you have to maintain it.
you do have to
If you drop it, then she'll see that you've been,
She'll think you've been taking the piss for
but
years.
she knows that I don't, like when I talk to other people, I don't have an Irish accent. And I think it's
you need to start.
But it's like, now I'm like, does she think I've been making fun of me? Because like, we get on real well.
When did you notice that this had been happening?
Just like maybe last Tuesday.
Oh my God, I can start crying.
Last Tuesday, and it was like, and I almost just like walked out immediately. It was like, when your whole body just like sort of goes into shutdown at the cringe. I don't know.
I can just see you walking into the gym and being like,
I feel like I'm going to throw up. It's so
You
embarrassing.
have to lean in.
you got to go in and be like, top of the morning to you. Like, go in, take some potatoes with you.
I think it's not okay to like make. I mean, I'm not making fun of her accent, but I am doing her.
I can't help you with this. I've never done this.
There's like quite a few Irish people at this point, and they've all got wonderful accents.
Are there, or are they all just talking to Joe and adopting accents?
Maybe this is contagion.
Maybe Joe
sound
thinks you're
great.
Irish. She's actually not
True.
Irish, and she thinks she's adopting
She's
your
much more
weird.
convincing than mine. Anyway,
Okay, it's a developing story.
sweating
Please keep
just
us
thinking
posted.
about it.
Duncan has physically retched twice whilst telling this anecdote.
My palms are sweating on your palm.
Oh God!
The horror.
Alex, anything to report from the week
I
gone
had a
by?
horror, but I did a bad thing.
What have you done?
I did a bad thing at a restaurant.
Tell us more.
Well, it was just a very humiliating pay situation where I had dinner with two other people and we were, splitting it all. And first of all, I got up and went to the bar to try and pay, and they're like, sit back down, we're bringing around the machine. So I was already on the back foot. I had already made the first snafu. Sat down, and then the guy brought the EFTPOS machine over. And you know how at like some nicer restaurants, it's like, do you want to add a tip? And it's like, yes or no. I thought it was a touch screen. So I started pressing no,
Definitely
on
not.
the screen for, I would say, a solid 2 minutes. And then I started to think that maybe it was like my stovetop where you have to put your whole fingerprint
Finger
on the
ID.
screen. And it was just dead silent, me pressing no. And then the guy was like, you have to press the button with the cross on it if you want no. I was like, sorry, no. And then I kind of blacked out, didn't know what to say. It was so awkward. So I just kind of barked, learn from my mistakes to the table. Felt so sorry for the guy. Should have just, it's hard. I don't know about tipping culture.
Just tip him. Tip it once he's spoken out loud. If you want to press no, then you have to press yes.
But I had been pressing it for so long. It was so obvious that I was pressing no.
Yeah, but at that point, I think the only way to redeem yourself is to press yes.
Do you tip at restaurants?
Sometimes.
I do every time now because I'm always worried about the businesses like at the moment. But
Selfish, Alex. You are the reason the hospitality is going under.
It's also like we don't have a tipping culture, and I don't even know if I don't know when I started or why. I just a very, very sentimental person.
I started tipping. I tip on occasion, so I started tipping when they started having it on a machine and they're standing in front of you watching. That's when I started. I will assess the situation. If the maitre d' is busy and not looking at me, I will not tip. if they are glaring at me.
So it's social pressure driving it for
Yeah.
you.
This is the
Absolutely.
person with the machine.
Yeah.
Have I done a bad thing? Am I
No,
getting
I
cancelled
know
for not?
it's fine because, like, you know, in the US, or a place where there's tipping culture, tends to be very low wages, and the tips are literally how they get paid, and so it's a very strong expectation. I think in New Zealand we have a relatively high minimum wage, one of the highest in the world, so it's not a must. But if you have a good experience and you can afford to. Which I've been lucky enough to do in the last like 2-3 years. I've just done some little tips.
You're fine.
You're
Alex.
fine,
You're
Alex.
No,
fine.
here's what I'm going to do. I'm never going out again.
No, that's it. That's exactly it.
But is that
I'm going underground,
Yeah.
and that's me.
Can I ask,
Mole lady.
did your friends tip? No. Imagine though if they had.
But I think it should be
ultimate
something.
high road.
Basically, I think it should be like how you know, if you're a baby boomer and life's been good to you, or you know, then tip hard. You know, you're
Yeah.
just doing some intergenerational wealth transfer.
Yeah.
For people who are younger in their 20s, 30s, you know, like I just think that should be the socially acceptable tip sorting mechanism, as each according to their means.
And that is when the facts change. We do have an episode on intergenerational wealth transfer. And just look it up on your favourite podcast provider.
Just trying to do all the podcasts, okay?
I have a PSA for my little chat this week. I think I've spoken about the fact that my parents are moving house. I've been in charge of cleaning out Dad's bathroom, and it's been like a 2-day process total. And the first day I cleared everything out, did a pass on the shower. I was like, these watermarks are horrible. Came back on the weekend armed with all my various types of barkeeper's friend, right? The powder, the liquid, the spray, foam, the whole lot, plus some scrub daddies. If you know your cleaning products, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I did.
Keeper's Friend and the Scrub Daddy sound like adult movies.
It's a cleaning product, and the scrub daddy is like a great sponge, scourer type thing. Anyway, I did full passes on that bloody shower with the barkeepers, and the watermarks did not move.
What?
Yeah, they did not move. So I'm telling you now, squeegee every goddamn day.
A squeegee in time saves 9.
Increases
passes on the shower.
the price sale price of your house ultimately, I'm sure. So,
What about I was just about to say shower witch.
well, I didn't try the shower witch. Does shower witch, is that good on the old?
Well, that's
Well, the witch
whole
seems to
point
do a
of it.
good job.
Yeah, Rod
In the
Gender.
ad,
Yeah.
she just breezes past the shower and it
But again, be your own shower witch. You know,
Yeah.
a preventative measure is always better than a what's the other
A stitch in time.
a stitch in
witch in
time.
time.
A witch in time. Oh wow, that is
I wonder
great.
if we should try and get some of that Rod Gendon, because he basically does infomercials on the radio. Maybe he needs to get onto a new medium. Rod Gendon, if you're listening, I know you're listening. You know, we're keen to advertise the Wit and Forget family of liquid products, high margin.
We can write your copy for you. Okay. And
No,
so
because he comes in and does the
Oh.
you know, and we chat to him. Oh, Rod, you know, because he used to call in live to speak to like Mike Hosking or whoever. I just kind of want to get in on that action.
Oh,
Can you still do
great.
it? Remember Murray Deaker used to talk about
Well,
Alpa's like
I just-
bar and grill on Alpa's Ave in Newmarket.
you've just listened to a lot more talk radio than we have.
Stop this. I have.
Okay, so the other thing I want to say is that remember how I told you guys that it was my birthday and the school board Zoom, no one acknowledged it, and it was that. And now I got a message just last night from a board member saying, just listened to your podcast.
No, a
Jane.
different one.
Well, it all ties in to that. That whole story came also out of the fact that I picked up a bike on the Auckland free cycling page from someone who was a corny who worked at a major media place who also was a mum at the school, and so she listened to it and she's friends with this other board member, so she told her about it, and now like the sweater is unraveling and I am naked beneath.
It's an absolute horror show that anyone listens to this podcast.
It really is.
Well,
but-
you just you don't. Every time you meet someone, it's great, but you sort of feel like it shouldn't happen. There should be a different.
My
Yeah.
My reply to her was, OMG, I'm dying. I promise I'm a good board member. And then I deleted Facebook.
That's so weird.
I just feel like if you listen to this, you'd be like, that is not someone we want in charge of the school, governing the school.
I mean, you
Well,
show
all their
up
secret business,
most
you know?
weeks.
I do. Yeah, I do. I show up. Yes, I attend the meetings. I come in with ideas. I'm going to help with the opening of the school pool.
You're a grand board member.
Oh my God, Joe, is I live and
What was
breathe.
that? What was that? That was Scottish.
And on that note, that's a podcast. And we are going. Don't forget to listen to the real recap of Married at First Sight Australia. Week 2 has been a doozy. And
Well, watch the show. Watch the show.
Watch the show.
It's so cozy in these calamitous times to have like this big block of time watching this just beautifully made reality television program, and then you get to listen to us have a chat about it.
Fantastic. What more could you want? Okay, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Tia here, for recording. Thank you very much to Tara Ward. Thank you to our lovely sponsor, Nando's. And we will we'll see you guys. We won't see it all, but you'll hear us with the Mess Pod tomorrow. Goodbye.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I kōrero with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at the Spin-Off. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spin-Off member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
The Spin-Off Podcast Network.